Why is it that the more kind and understanding you are, the more people seem to test your limits? You offer your time, your energy, your empathy. You try to be the person who listens, who helps, who stays calm when others don't. And yet, somehow, you end up feeling disrespected, ignored, taken for granted. It doesn't make sense at first. We're taught that kindness is a strength. And it is. But when kindness comes without boundaries, it often gets mistaken for weakness. This is something the Stoics understood deeply. They believed in virtue, in compassion, but they also believed in clarity and self-control. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, they all taught that if you don't protect your inner peace, the world will pull it apart, piece by piece. That's what we're diving into today on Beyond Vision Mindset. We're going to explore why kindness, when left unguarded, can lead to disrespect, and how to apply Stoic wisdom to prevent that. You'll learn 3 timeless principles that will help you stay grounded in who you are, without allowing others to walk over you. If you've ever felt like people mistake your patience for weakness, or your empathy for approval, this video is for you. Subscribe to Beyond Vision Mindset if you're ready to build strength with grace, and let's get into it. 1. Kindness without boundaries looks like surrender. Let's talk about something a lot of people feel, but never really say out loud. Being kind starts to hurt when nobody respects it. You go out of your way to be understanding, you keep your tone calm, you give second chances, you try to avoid conflict. You tell yourself you're just being a good person. But deep down, you're exhausted. Not because kindness is draining, but because people keep pulling from a well they never help refill. At first, you think you're doing the right thing. You tell yourself, if I just stay patient, they'll see how genuine I am. But that moment never really comes, does it? Instead, the more you accommodate, the more they expect. The more quiet you are, the more they talk over you. And after a while, you stop feeling kind, and start feeling used. This is where most people get stuck, because they think the only 2 options are being nice or being cold. But Stoicism gives us a third way. The Stoics weren't about people pleasing, and they weren't about being heartless either. They believed in living with clarity, intention, and self-respect. Here's what most people don't realize until it's too late. If you're kind to everyone but yourself, that's not kindness, it's self-betrayal. And that betrayal builds slowly. It shows up in the way you bite your tongue when something crosses a line. It shows up in how you stay silent just to avoid being called too emotional. It shows up every time you feel the need to apologize for simply having boundaries. When people see that you never stand up for yourself, they stop valuing what you give. Not because they're all bad people, but because you've shown them you'll always be available, no matter how you're treated. That's not strength. That's surrender. You don't have to become cold to protect your peace. You just have to stop giving it away so easily. You can still care, still show up, still lead with empathy, but now, you do it with a line in the sand. A quiet but firm "this is where I end and you begin." Because real kindness, healthy, grounded, powerful kindness, starts with self-respect. And once you anchor into that, people feel it. You won't even need to say much. They'll sense it in the way you carry yourself. In the way you no longer over-explain. In the way you stay kind, but you don't let people treat you like a doormat just because you don't yell. If your kindness is costing you your peace, your dignity, or your sense of self, it's time to stop calling it kindness. It's time to call it what it is. fear of being rejected. And fear will never earn you the respect that strength does. Quiet strength. Calm clarity. That's the kind of energy the Stoics moved with. And that's the energy you need to reclaim your space in this world. 2. People don't respect what you don't protect. One of the hardest truths to accept is this. People treat you based on what you allow, not what you deserve. You might think your intentions are clear. That people should automatically respect your heart, your patience, your efforts. But the world doesn't respond to good intentions, it responds to patterns. And if your pattern is silence, overgiving, or constantly bending just to keep the peace, people will treat that as the standard. It's not even always malicious. Sometimes it's just conditioning. You teach people how to treat you by what you tolerate. And over time, you start to notice that the people who constantly drain you are the ones who never even ask if you're okay. They've gotten used to you being the one who carries the weight. And because you've never drawn a line, they assume there isn't one. The Stoics believed that self-respect isn't something you demand from others, it's something you live by. Epictetus said, "Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it." In other words, stop telling people to treat you better. Start showing them what you no longer accept. You don't need to get angry. You don't need to prove anything. You just need to get clear. What behaviors drain you? What situations leave you feeling unseen or disrespected? And more importantly, what are you going to do the next time it happens? People respect boundaries that are quietly but consistently enforced. And the moment you start protecting your energy, without guilt, without apology, you'll notice the dynamic shift. Some people will step up and adjust. Others will distance themselves, and that's okay. Let them. Because the truth is, if someone only values you when you're available at your own expense, they never valued you. They valued what they could get from you. Kindness isn't about being constantly accessible. It's about being true to your values while honoring your limits. And when you protect what matters to you, your time, your peace, your presence, people either learn to respect it, or they leave space for those who will. 3. Calm doesn't mean passive, it means controlled. A lot of people confuse calm with weakness. They think if you're not loud, not aggressive, not constantly defending yourself, then you must be passive. But there's a huge difference between being calm and being walked over. Stoicism teaches us that emotional control isn't about suppression, it's about direction. Being calm doesn't mean you don't feel frustration or hurt. It means you've learned how to respond with clarity instead of chaos. You don't react just to prove a point. You pause, assess, and move with intention. That's real power. But here's where it applies to kindness. If you're calm and boundaryless, people will assume you're passive. They won't see the strength behind your silence, only the space they think they can occupy. And before you know it, your calm nature becomes the exact reason people assume they can take advantage of you. So you have to flip the script. Let your calmness be paired with direction. Let your kindness come with self-awareness. Don't just be the one who understands everyone else, be the one who understands yourself so well that you know where to draw the line without losing your center. The Stoics didn't teach us to be passive. They taught us to be anchored. When you're anchored in your values, you don't need to convince people of anything. You don't need to yell. You don't even need to explain. Your energy speaks before you do. People feel when they're dealing with someone who's grounded. Someone who has nothing to prove, but everything to protect. So if you're tired of being misunderstood, If you're tired of being kind and getting disrespected in return, the answer isn't to become cold. It's to become clear. Calm, kind, and clear, that's the balance. That's Stoic strength. So, here's the bottom line. Kindness is a gift, but it's one you can only give if you're also giving to yourself. Setting boundaries doesn't make you less compassionate, it makes you more aligned with your true self. It's not about shutting people out. It's about protecting your peace so you can keep giving, but without losing yourself in the process. The Stoic path isn't about being cold, it's about being calm, centered, and clear. It's about knowing where your limits are, and protecting them without guilt. When you can do that, kindness becomes a reflection of your strength, not a sacrifice of it. If you've been struggling with setting boundaries, or if you found yourself being misinterpreted, I hope today's video gave you a new perspective. If you've learned something valuable, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, so you can keep exploring this kind of powerful wisdom with Beyond Vision mindset. Remember, strength isn't about being loud, it's about being true to yourself. Keep choosing peace, keep choosing boundaries, and keep choosing to show up for who you really are. Until next time, stay grounded and let your kindness be your strength. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.